Hello, this is James. Today we have our ROIDs deck, and this deck will combine the machine ROIDs with Cyber Dragons to form Chimera Tech Overdragon. And this comes by suggestion of Ace Ronald Mage, and it sounded like a cool idea because we have Supercharge. When your opponent declares an attack, and the only monsters you control are machine type ROID monsters, draw 2 cards. So that's going to give us plenty of material and protection for our Chimera Tech Overdragon. Now, as Brother Guns teaches us, for a Chimera Tech Overdragon summoning deck, we use Cybernetic Fusion support and Last Gambage, so that we can gamble monsters into the graveyard and then still be able to use them with the effect of Cybernetic Fusion support. So the way this works is you summon your ROIDs, you play your Supercharge, you collect material and protection, and then on turn 5 you discard your Zvais and you activate fusion support and polymerization, and you summon one of your 3 beautiful dragons. And also you have the option for pair Psychroid, which is probably the most useful ROID fusion monsters. For our ROIDs, we're using Express ROID that can bring... This guy is more for bringing Last Gamble discard material back into your hand. So you can play him, and then you get 2 machine type monsters back in your hand, and then discard them again. And then that way you don't have to discard your Pulse Mines, or your Polys, or your Cybernetic Fusion support. Submarine ROID is great for chip damage. Let Chimera Tech Overdragon more easily finish off the opponent. Because what I've been able to do with this deck is get 4 monsters for the Chimera Tech summon. So that's only an attack of 3,200. And so a Submarine ROID attack plus a Chimera Tech direct attack, that's enough to finish off the opponent. For our Cyber Dragon, we have Zwei, and we're only using 2 because we get plenty of draw power with Supercharge. So a lot of the time you're definitely going to be able to get a Zwei in your hand to be discarded by the effect of Last Gamble. If you don't have Zwei, now Zwei has to be in the graveyard for him to be used as the Cyber Dragon for the Cyber Dragon component of Chimera Tech Overdragon. But if you don't have him, and he can also be destroyed by battle. If you don't have him, you can use Proto Cyber Dragon, whose name becomes Cyber Dragon while it is in the field. And we have Carrier ROID, which will protect our Supercharge by Carrier ROID. When an opponent activates a card's effect that targets and destroys a spell or trap card you control, you can discard a card and negate. So that's going to protect our Supercharge. And if we discard a machine monster, we don't care, because we can use Cybernetic Fusion support and get use out of it anyway. And finally, Ambulance ROID, which this comes up way less often, but when a ROID monster is added from your graveyard to your hand, you can special summon that monster. I would take this out, and I would add a 3rd Submarine ROID. Roll the clips! So our first battle is against the Mako Tsunami. We're going to go ahead and put Zwei in defense position, because we actively want him in the graveyard. And here is the Abyss Soldier, probably the most useful small monster of the Abyss Encounters deck. And we get our Supercharge, so that's it. That puts us in a good position. And I think we're going to go for the Submarine ROID play. Yeah. So we're going to set our Pulse Mines and our Supercharge, and we're going to go for the chip damage with Submarine ROID. Even though his attack is reduced by Umi, he still does his 800 points of damage by his effect. And then Mako swaps out Umi for Legendary Ocean, and then returns Supercharge to my hand, and tributes for a Levia Dragon Daedalus, because Daedalus gets reduced to level 6. And then we're going to chain Pulse Mines to save our monster. and our life points. And here it's turn 5, so we can activate Last Gamble. We're going to gamble away our Zwei. And we have all of the materials necessary for the hover cheese. We activate cybernetic fusion support, and then that lets us use polymerization to polymerize using our graveyard monsters. And summoning Cybertech Overdragon or Chimeratech Overdragon is a little bit tricky because it's you pick any monster. Well, you pick a machine or a Cyberdragon, and then you pick a Cyberdragon or a machine, and then you can pick all of your other machines, and that's a choose all. They get the little red marks in the upper right hand corner, so you want to be careful of that. Here again, we're playing against Yugimoto. This is a 30-card grass deck, and this, look at this, all the things you don't want in the graveyard. But this is kind of interesting. It's a Water Dragon cluster deck using all of the elemental dinosaurs, the Hydrogeddons and the Oxygeddons and Deuterion, all those things. And it's kind of an aggressive deck, so I don't know why he's playing it in face-down defense position. But that's going to let us get the chip damage with Submarine ROID. And then Submarine ROID lets us protect with his 1800 defense, more than enough for a Hydrogeddon. We're going to get that chip damage again. Yugi has no response because he flushed all of his good cards with that grass. And here is, but here's his combo, is Evil Swarm Salamandra, Banishing Dinosaurs, and Tyranno Infinity pumped up. Kills my Submarine ROID, kills my Zwei, and I think it's time. I think it's time to activate Last Gamble. We get that 6, let's get some sweet picks, but not a cybernetic fusion support to be had. I mean, that's fair. There's only 2 in the deck, but a little disappointing. But we have plenty of draw power, and we have a pulse mines, so we're still in good shape. You get that chip damage once more. The Submarine ROID is, I believe it's a highly underrated card. Pumps up Tyranno Infinity to 4,000. I'm going to copy this deck for my Dinosaur Banish deck that I'm going to do later. So he gets that 4,000, but we have, well, we're going to chain our 2 supercharges first. Draw 4 cards, and if we don't get a fusion support out of this, I'd be very upset. And we finally have our pulse mines, and that protects us for the turn. We get 1 fusion support. So the last one is at the bottom of the deck. So the last 4 cards, 2 of them were fusion support. And this is going to let us get out our Chimeratech Overdragon. And we're going to save those 2 same monsters that are in our hand, the 2 Express Roids, for a Bicycloid, or whatever. Yeah, Paracycloid, because he needs 2 monsters. And you can only use fusion support giving you monsters from the graveyard once per turn. So Cycloid gets some exercise. Here's our last replay. It's cheese on cheese. The Cybertech deck versus a hazy beatdown deck. The Kaiba with no extra deck is always a dead giveaway. And don't bluff with that face down. I know it's not anything. I know it's just a Tensu, which means if he has a Tensu and a normal summonable monster, it means he doesn't have Sphinx in his hand. So he goes for the beatdown, kills my Carrier ROID. But here we're gonna get Submarine ROID, my favorite ROID, because he looks like a sandwich. I could go for a sandwich right about now. A sandwich carrying a smaller sandwich. That's my hunger dream. And we're gonna get that chip damage, and we're going to protect because if if he can't get out his hazy, this is safe from beat down powered up Cerberus. Even if he gets out 2, they'll only have 1600 attack each. So he goes for the parallel twister, banishes his, or destroys his econ, but Pulse Mine's such a good card, protects even when a new monster comes onto the field. Great card. I understand why it's limited to machines. I wish it wasn't, though. So he special summons Raven. We have our Zwei, and I'm hesitating on activating the cheese because maybe we can get a couple more cards. So we have our fusion support. We have our Zwei, and all we need is a polymerization. But I'm still remembering only just barely getting fusion support in that last game. But here we get our poly. And we're going to get our Chimera Tech Over Dragon. So here, you pick the machine, you pick the Cyber Dragon, and then you pick your 2 other monsters. We get 3200 attack point, Cyber Dragon, and it's over for him. Hazy Flame family cannot get over 3200 attack points. Only with a Coyote and a full fire formation back row can they even get that number. And even then it would still be a suicide. So he pins Supercharge, which is A-OK. And we're gonna go for the win. Thank you for watching.